Hey guys, how's it going? End of another trading day. It is Monday, July 27th. The markets have been closed for about 40 minutes now. And pretty much a green day, right? Looking at the big board here, the heat map, a little bit of red on the board, but big tech was up by a decent amount, about 1 to 1.5%. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google. Semiconductor sector was also pretty green. Micron was up 3%. And that was somewhat expected, right? Because Micron took a pretty decent hit Friday. It was down by, I believe, if I remember correctly, 3 or 4%. Intel was down again. Intel got hurt again because it was down, if you remember, about 16%, I believe, on Friday. Got hit another 2% today. So Intel not looking so good right now. AMD also got hit a little bit, but that was great for me because if you follow my past recent videos, you know that I wanted to get in on some cash secured puts on AMD and try and play earnings with far out of the money cash secured puts so I can take advantage of not only theta decay, but what essentially I guess you can consider a vega decay or IV crush, because earnings is coming up in pretty much 24 hours after the market closes tomorrow. So we'll have to see what that happens. Stay tuned. I'll let you know what my plays were for this trading day. Nvidia was up again, up 2%. I mean, Nvidia is crazy expensive for me right now at $400 plus. If Nvidia was near the price of AMD, I would be in and out of AMD and Nvidia plays all day, all week long. I have a very bullish long-term sentiment on Nvidia personally, but it's just too darn high. I mean, to sell a cash secured put on AMD, you would need over $41,000 in collateral, which is crazy. So I'm hoping if AMD, I'm hoping AMD doesn't get to the price level of Nvidia, because then I would have to find another stock to kind of be my favorite stock and play. But we'll see what happens. If AMD does want to go to 400, well, let's hope I have held shares at $60, $50, $40 or something like that. But let's just take a look at what the market did today. So here's the map on AMD. So right when we opened, AMD shot up green about 2.3%. Then we really quickly came back right down to baseline within the first half hour or so of the market opening. And then we really dipped hard at around 11:30 a.m. And this was the time that I was watching the market today and was able to get in on some cash secured puts. So I kind of got good lucky per se with the timing, because I did open up positions around noontime. So around when it was near its valley for the day, it did slowly bleed back up and then trade pretty much sideways. So I got in around if I remember correctly, around 11:30 or 12ish, I think. And take a look at the options chain. So I actually sold a cash secured put on AMD at the 61 strike price. And for that, so selling a put and expires this Friday, I actually sold it for $60 in premium. So right now at the end of the day, it's worth roughly $46. So I'm already profitable on the day. 60, which is what I sold it for, it's worth $46 right now. So I'm already up about $14. And out of the $60 in premium I collected, I'm up currently 23%. So I've made 23% on that option in about half a trading day, which is very good. I mean, you can't really complain about that. I mean, I could close this position out right now and have paid for dinner tonight, right? So not complaining about that. I'm certainly going to hold it as long as possible. My play right now, and so if you actually look on certain brokerages like Thinkorswim, they actually can calculate the expected move for options for you. So at last check, the expected move for AMD this week was about $6 or $7. I think it was like 6.7 if I remember correctly. And obviously that is going to change with time, but it was roughly $6 or $7. So with AMD trading at $69, $70, I mean, I think actually early this morning we got up to $71 right when the market opened. I think we touched or we blipped 71. I mean, here we see 70.97, but I think we did break 71 for a quick millisecond at some point today. But if the expected move for AMD is $6 or $7, then I should be fairly secure with my 61 strike put, because $70 minus 7 is going to be around 63, right? So the expected move is going to be either plus or minus $6 or $7 of where the stock is currently. So the range expected to be is going to be between, like, let's say 63, 64 to 76, 77 post earnings, or I should say by the end of the day, Friday. So I'm feeling pretty secure about my 61 strike puts so far. I mean, you can see they've already decreased in value by 42% today. So again, just using theta decay to my advantage at this point, and then after earnings, hopefully IV crush will be to my advantage as well. So if you saw my video from this past weekend, you saw that I talked about space options and how that option at a 0.4% return on risk was roughly 94% at that time. So if I just calculate my return on risk for this play at the 61 strike put, if I collected $60 and my collateral is going to be $6,100, right? Because $61 per share times 100 shares, my return on risk is just about 1%. So it's not bad because I'm getting an 87% chance of profit for a 1% return on my risk, which is more than you would typically get if this wasn't earnings week for AMD. So I'm pretty secure about that. You know, the real question is, do I want to hold this until expiration if it's close to being tested? Because do I want to own AMD at $61? And honestly, I really don't. You know, if after earnings we're close to testing my strike here at 61, I will probably close it out early because I really don't want to own AMD at $61. I think even currently, that's a little bit overpriced for AMD. I think at this point, I would want to own AMD in the mid to low 50s, ideally in the mid to high 40s. But I think given where AMD is currently and the kind of run up we've had the past couple of days, I think anything in the 60s right now, personally, is a little bit too rich for AMD. And because my other concern is, if that's my working hypothesis, if I do get assigned shares on at 61, then I would have to sell covered calls on it at ideally 61 or higher. And if AMD, in my opinion, is trading in the 50s, or that's where it wants to live, then I'm already going to have a tough time getting rid of those shares. So let's just take a quick look at the AMD stock graph here. So here's the trading view graph, and you can see, you know, we popped up the past couple of days all the way from, you know, about 59.50 to a high of, like I said, almost $70. And we did have somewhat of a pullback today, but pretty much traded sideways, right? Looks like AMD ended up down 0.6%. It was only down roughly 43 cents in the trading day. But at some point in the day, it was close to being down around 1%. And that was around noontime-ish when I sold my put. And I was watching the RSI curve, like I mentioned in some of my other videos. And the RSI curve, or the intraday RSI curve on AMD, was very close to the oversold category. So that's when I figured it would be a good time to get in. I mean, looking at the daily RSI right now, it's still very close to the overbought category. So that RSI number, combined with earnings coming up, combined with how for the past, I believe, 3 earnings sessions, AMD typically goes down after earnings. Everything is telling me in my bones that AMD is going to go down again after earnings. So the real question is, how much? So I wanted to pick a strike price that was far enough out of the money that I would not get assigned shares, but also not so far out of the money that it's not worth my time and my money, right? I want to collect a decent amount of premium. So there's really a balance there of collecting decent premium and collecting a decent return on my risk while still being out of the expected move per se and not having my strike tested or getting assigned shares of stock. So I think $61 fit the bill. You know, this weekend I was looking at the $60 strike, but there just weren't good premiums at $60 when I was looking this morning, so I settled on 61. And like I said, I think I'm going to be okay. You know, time will tell. Really, what's going to happen is Wednesday morning when we open up, that's really going to set the tone for the rest of the week, in my opinion, for AMD. Because that's going to be once the market opens post-earnings, so we're really going to see what the sentiment is for AMD stock. But that was my one play today, but I actually did open up another play. And also, just to recap, if you remember from my videos last week, I already have an existing play on AMD that I've left open that's expiring this Friday as well, and that's a 51 strike put. And I sold that for $65 in premium last week. And so that is, you know, so far out of the money that option is pretty much only worth $5 right now. I sold it for $65. But at this point, I'm not really eager to free up any more capital, so I'm probably just going to let it ride till expiration and collect max profit because I'm not concerned that 51 strike put is going to get tested this week. I mean, 51 is all the way down here. AMD would have to blast through 1, 2, 3 Fibonacci levels, and I just don't think that's going to happen in a week. So those are my two plays on AMD that I currently have on. I have a 51 strike put and now a 61 strike put for $65 and $60 in premium respectively. And then I also opened up a play on Space last week, and that was a put at $20.50. So let's just take a look at Space on Robinhood really quickly. So again, Space opened up green today, then it sold off pretty hard midday, and then it rallied back up slowly. So the interesting thing about Space is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time, they're going to do their cabin reveal. And I heard rumors when I was cruising the internet yesterday that people think that there may be a little bit more to it than just the cabin reveal. They think they're holding back. I think they're gonna reveal some other stuff. I even saw a comment that someone thinks that they're gonna fire a rocket off tomorrow and they're gonna do the cabin reveal like mid-flight, which I think that would be absolutely insanity. And if that does happen, I think the stock is also gonna go to the moon because that's gonna be craziness. But there's been a lot of hype recently just about the cabin reveal. I mean, there's even a trailer video on the internet you can watch. So I'm suspecting that once the cabinet is revealed, that Virgin Galactic stock will shoot up. So I sold, again, puts, hoping to collect premium, letting them expire completely worthless so I collect max profit. But last week, I sold puts on Space, and I actually sold 2 puts on Space last week at the $20.50 strike price. So let's go to selling puts here just so we have accurate numbers. So $20.50, they're only worth $7 right now. I actually sold them for $26 last week. So I've already collected a good amount of premium. And like I said, at this point, it is about $5 away from my strike, which I think is a decent buffer. It's got a 94% chance of profitability. So I'm probably gonna let this ride as well until expiration on Friday. But also today, I decided, because I had just a little bit of cash left over, that I opened up more puts on AMD, cash secured puts, at the 21 strike price. So I opened up 2 more cash secured puts on Space at 21, and I didn't get as much premium. I only collected $17 in premium each for those, and you can see those are also worth $7 now. So I'm already profitable by $10 each of those 2 contracts. So those are my plays right now. Kind of, sort of, both are risky plays on AMD and Space because they both kind of have catalysts or big events coming up, and actually both are happening tomorrow because Space has its cabin reveal tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern time. So that's going to probably have a big impact on how the stock reacts for the rest of the week. And then we also, like I said, AMD has its earnings tomorrow after hours. So Wednesday morning is going to be a very interesting time for me personally because the market is really going to tell me what I need to do about my options. Because if either Space or AMD are close to testing my strikes, I'm probably going to close my positions because I really don't want to own either of those stocks right now, especially where they're priced at. But if I have a good buffer, then I'll probably let them ride for as long as possible to collect as much profit as I can, and ideally max profit. But those are my plays right now. I'm completely tapped out. I don't have any dry powder left. So at this point, it's just a waiting game and just watch and see what happens. You know, the worst case scenario is if either Space or AMD or both drop so much that my options are now in the money, and then now I have to consider potentially rolling my options out for the fear if they continue dropping and now they're even deeper in the money. So we'll have to take it day by day. We'll see what happens. Like I said, the real excitement is going to happen tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, when Space does their cabin reveal and when AMD has its earnings. I'm definitely going to watch the AMD earnings live after hours just to see how the stock reacts. And then I'm definitely going to watch the market pre-market Wednesday morning just to see and kind of get my mind right about what I think I might need to do with my options. Best case scenario is both AMD and Space just take off like a rocket and go to the moon. And that way I can let all 4 of my options expire worthless and collect max profit. If that does happen, I'll have a pretty good week, probably one of my better weeks on record in terms of the total premium I would collect. And I would also be all cash and not have to worry about getting assigned shares. So that would be the absolute best case scenario for me, and I hope that happens. Let me know if you guys opened up any positions today, if you closed any positions, and if you did, what was your profitability? As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Remember to join our Discord server. We're growing probably like 10 or 20 new people on our Discord server every day. At last count, I have about 150, 160 people in Discord right now. So Actually today, me and a couple other people were chatting all day long live during market hours. So we were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth and, comparing notes and watch lists and things like that. So a lot of good information in there. Just a lot of good people, it seems like. Very smart people, helpful people, and people are also posting a lot of good information. I also am going to start, just so I make my videos a little bit more interesting, and because I know that based on the YouTube analytics that a lot of people don't stay to the end of the video, I'm going to start posting like bloopers or memes at the end of the video, so people, if they want to stick around and kind of have a laugh. And then also, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start like a little Easter egg hunt in every video. So if you look at my YouTube logo, the little hat with the dollar signs coming out of it, I'm going to kind of shrink that down to size like a Where's Waldo, and I'm going to hide that in every one of my videos somewhere, almost like a game. And if you find it, just go ahead and link the timestamp below where you found that little Easter egg avatar. So just to have a little bit of fun, because I think my videos are getting maybe a little bit stale, so I just want to keep people interested and engaged. So as always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. And as always, happy trading.